Hi guys, I appreciate you for being here, subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the content that I've been making for you guys thus far. I appreciate you so much. Okay, so let's just say you have a gift, guys, and your own spirit guys not connected simply because they are not married or things were not done properly when it comes to tradition. And this is more like a stumbling block to your journey, guys. Okay, so how do you resolve the issue? So yeah, that's the burning issue for today. Okay, how do you resolve the issue? Another thing that I want to emphasize that, guys, to you is that marriage doesn't necessarily mean spiritual connection. People can actually be married and still find that they are not connected spiritually. So I will also be exploring some of those issues, why they cannot connect spiritually. Okay, though they are married. All right. So let's start with those who maybe their parents are not connected in terms of marriage. Okay, so how do you resolve the issue? It all depends on the connection that the two parties have. If your parents are actually in good speaking terms, obviously your maternal side will have to inform the paternal side about your issue, that ngwana o na le badimo and so forth. So you have to go and twasa and all that jazz. So mainly there is a ceremony that needs to be held prior to you embarking to your journey. So this ceremony is actually meant to match these two parties, that yes, we agree to this. You understand? It's not necessarily marriage. It's not necessarily that this other part is forcing that other part to marry to them, something like that. So it's more like an agreement that yes, we acknowledge, as long as there's a mutual understanding and all that jazz, it's not difficult to actually resolve the issue. You just need a healer who will definitely be holding the ceremony. And mainly the most important thing is that the animal that will be slaughtered, it has to come from the paternal side. This is an assurity that they are actually acknowledging this. Okay, so it's easy for you to embark to your journey. All right, so if they are not in good speaking terms, this can actually be tricky and difficult. Or if you don't necessarily know your father is in, also maybe you don't know, you know nothing, yet you have a gift and it's troubling you. What can be done? Okay, so your maternal side, they inform their lineage, their ancestors. This is what we are facing, ngwana na le mathata so and so. And then with the interference of a traditional healer too, go na le mophatlo o itseng, but then this time o phatla ko solong, as in like sellela badimo, because you have no idea as to badimo ba ba o tshwereng ke bo mang, but they are within you. So you can't change that, or you cannot simply run away from the fact that ba tsogile mo bophelong ba gago. You understand? So o phatla godimo ga sellela badimo, you know, pleading, because sellela badimo is more like as a tombstone. It's more like libitla. You understand? So you don't necessarily know who your father is. So otlolela mo ager. So wapatla, and starting with your maternal or umang, you come from the side and so forth and so forth. So it is easy if you know your paternal side, the name at least, the surname at least. So it becomes easy. You understand? It becomes easy for you to actually connect with them spiritually, But if you don't know still, you just mention who you are and this is what I'm going through, you know. Another solution to this can be go femba, as in go femba, sedimo se leng mo go wena, then they come and speak their truth. This is so and so, I come from so and so, you know. And then that's where you get a solution that, oh, I'm from this side, or they are this type of people, you know, such things. So it becomes way too easy to resolve the issue. Then you know that, oh, I come from so and so name. So lege o ya ko seulong, you call them by the same name, that at least you know, at least now you know where you come from. Okay? Then move from your left and right hand, because you are trying to connect with the maternal and the paternal, both of them. You understand? Yeah. So with the instruction, of course, of a healer that will be helping you during that time. Yeah. So that's how it's being done. It's not necessarily that it is impossible, because we find that some people, yes, they do embark into the journey, and this is so and so, I come from so and so, but this can actually harm you as an initiate, because you may find that these two ancestors are fighting each other instead of helping you guys. Okay? Yeah. So, and another thing is that it's very important whether you come from a family where people are married or not. If you are at the beginning of your journey, as in like 101, you start with your maternal side, your maternal side first, and you give it a break, you give it a space. Say for instance, in the morning, your maternal, then you give it a space. Then you can in the afternoon, your paternal side, you understand? So this way, you allow this other part to come forward without having any distraction from the other side, because once over both, and only to find that they don't necessarily connect, instead of them coming to help you, they come in and fight against each other instead. So when you summon them, they come, then they connect, they fight, as in like kill nabo mang, you know, such things. So they just fight in the spiritual realm, and you may find that sometimes you ask for guidance and nothing happens, simply because you are not making any progress. The only thing you are doing is just igniting the fight between two parties who don't necessarily get along. Okay? That's it. So it's very important to give it space. Yeah, that will definitely work in your favor. Same applies to those that maybe your own spirit guides have, or your parents have married, ne? Okay, but then nothing seems to be working, as in like perhaps already you are a healer, or you have gone through the initiation part, but nothing seems to be making sense. It can be that your own spirit guides don't match, they don't get along. And one of the factor why you may find that this is the issue, it can be that the surname that you are using is not correct. Okay, so the problem actually comes from your father. You may find that your father, yes, have married your mom, but then with the wrong surname. So the surname is not recognized in the spiritual realm. Moreover, the ancestors that are fighting are the rightful owners of your head, as in like directly. You don't necessarily know them. You are using the same name that is not actually entirely yours. Okay, so that's one of the issue. Another thing is tribal issues. Yes, they might be married, and you may find that all the same names are correct, but you both come from different tribes that don't necessarily get along. So you find that they have tribal issues. Your own spirit guides, your ancient ancestors were fighting with this other part in the past life. Okay, so instead of them coming together and getting along, they just can't. They are fighting. You know, the war still continues. Okay, so it's very important. That's why when you are supposed to take a wife, they will ask, "Ujwale guy," you understand such things. It's to avoid, not necessarily that they are trying to choose a person for you, because your parents know better. Hence, that's why they will say, no, don't marry in that family, because they understand. The thing is that our parents, they are not that much open to such a point that they will explain things openly, as in, this is why you can't marry from such a family, or and so on, guys. Okay, so because they are fighting more, especially if they come from a royal family, maybe you come from a royal family and all that, yes. So it becomes more of an issue. So you may find that you're struggling, so they are fighting, and seo se dirang se go batla wena mo mmeleng, and there is no solution for you, you see. Yeah, so that's another thing. So you have to be aware as to where does the root of the problem comes from. Okay, first thing, you have to be sure that the surname is correct. Okay, and if it's not correct, what is the rightful surname? Okay, and how to make use of it. Okay, so it's more like a process, guys. It's more of a process, because once you don't get this right, then you are not going anywhere. There will definitely be no direction moving forward, guys. Okay, yeah. So another thing is that okay, simply because they don't connect, and already you are undergoing your journey, so they are fighting each other, okay, in the spirit, and this causes some stumbling block, because the other part wants to prove a point to the other part. Then this is a problem of power, who's more powerful than the other, such things. So you will find yourself being pinned down, being cornered because of this. So it's more like now you are a punching bag of your own spirit guides, you see. So they are fighting. So there are some medicines that are actually being used, obviously. Well, if you do go initiation, so there's a way of solving the issue, because there are so many issues when it comes to the spiritual realm, guys. Okay, so hence the initiation, that's where it comes. Okay, because this way they help you to overcome such issues, such problems, and they actually open paths for you to be able to embark in your journey with easy, with grace. Okay, exactly. So it's not necessarily that it's a forceful act that or something, but it is needed. That's why it is needed, because some issues you cannot resolve yourself. Some wars are happening in the spiritual realm, and only a person who have been initiated and understand these things, they can actually help you to overcome these issues easily, like that, guys. Okay, so that you can align yourself with the rightful ancestors that are actually meant for you. That's a job of a person who is initiating you to correct this and put you on the right path, and moving forward, it's all on you. Okay, because if things are not actually being done correct, this can actually affect your nervous system altogether, when the spirits are fighting so much. So that's why you will find that people end up being paralyzed, or moto aduti mobile chains, because of these things. The energies within, they are fighting, and you wouldn't know how to control this. You wouldn't know how to react to such. So it's more like it can affect your mental state of being. You can even lose your marbles because of this. So it's not necessarily a joke, as in like, it's not an issue. We can resolve this. We can, or we can simply ignore this and keep on keeping on. So it's very important, guys, to understand, to know. Sometimes you may find that, okay, parents are not actually being entirely honest. They won't even try and be honest. So sometimes being initiated, it helps because the truth gets to come out. Yeah, what's hidden comes to light, guys. You get to know who you really are. And that's the whole point. One of the biggest issue for you being here, it's for you to actually understand who you are. What can you do if you don't know who you are? It all starts with self, like I always say, guys. Okay, so it's very much important to understand gore o tswa kae, o ya kae, so that you get a clear direction. Le go phahla, you understand, such things, guys, moving forward. So yeah, I really hope that the video was actually helpful for some of you guys. Okay, do subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. From me to you guys, I am sending you light. You take care. Bye bye.